Have you ever been scared to death? You know, your heart pounds, you sweat, and you're breathless. Everyone has a fear. What do you fear? Who here fears public speaking? Well, obviously not me. What about heights, the dark, insects? What about dying? As humans, we try and manage and dread our fear by taking precautions, such as working out, eating healthy, and wearing seatbelts. But what if that fear could actually save your life? The 1918 pandemic was 100 years ago this year, with the sight of horse-drawn carts collecting corpses off of city streets. In Philadelphia alone, there were 786 deaths in one day, and 12,000 over 6 weeks. This transformed an epidemic of fear into one of sheer terror and panic. In 2014, about 40% of Americans feared a large Ebola virus outbreak in the United States, despite the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and basically all leading infectious disease experts saying that the chances of Ebola spreading in the developed world was virtually zero. Avian flu, swine flu, SARS flu, all evoked fear. This fear reduces worker productivity and consumer spending and increases healthcare costs. Public events such as school are disrupted and canceled. People visit their friends and neighbors less often. Fear spreads faster than the disease itself, devastating trade, travel, and tourism around the world. Who here is afraid of needles? People have feared shots since it was first created. In 1796, Edward Jenner created the first shot. His ambitious goal was to eliminate smallpox, a devastating disease at the time, killing 3 out of the 10 people who were infected. Initially, Jenner created the original shot only using cowpox pus. Over the next 200 years, the shot was modified, and ultimately, by the mid-1970s, smallpox was eradicated. Yet, this miraculous shot received a lot of criticism and fear. Parents protested its use. Clergy believed it was unchristian. Others simply distrusted medicine. And finally, some people believed it was a violation of their personal liberty and purity. Due to this, the Vaccination Act and Act of 1867 were created, requiring children 14 years and younger to get the shot. However, these laws were met with backlash, as many parents believed that they had the right to choose what they wanted to do to their and their children's bodies. LHPN, an Iowan banker, whose daughter was said to have died from complications of the smallpox shot, started the Anti-Vaccination League. Then other leagues followed. Their goal was to eliminate the Vaccination Act of 1867 and what they believed was a violation of their individual freedom. The Vaccination Act of 1898 was created, exempting children from being vaccinated. Throughout the 1900s, many new shots were created, such as diphtheria, anthrax, TB, and more. In the 1970s, controversy erupted worldwide over the diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough, or DTP shot. A hospital in the UK alleged that many children received neurological complications because of the shot. In panic and fear, parents stopped vaccinating their children. Jump ahead 25 years into 1998, when another shot was created. Measles, mumps, and rubella. There was another controversy that erupted because of this throughout Europe. Andrew Wakefield, a British doctor, alleged that there was a link between autism and the MMR shot. Yet his data was falsified, but parents still believed him and, in fear, stopped vaccinating their children. Jump ahead again to 2006, when the HPV shot was created. Researchers questioned the ethics around it, about whether or not abstinent young adults needed to get the shot, and if it encouraged earlier sexual relations among teens. Now, who here thinks that measles has been completely eradicated? In 2015, about 130,000 people died worldwide due to measles. You might think that the United States is a leader in vaccination rates. However, there are 113 countries that have higher immunization rates. The World Health Organization wants infants to have at least 1 dose of measles before their first birthday, and a 95% immunization rate to achieve protection for the whole community. The United States has a 91% immunization rate, making it far more likely to get the disease, while other countries such as Libya, Russia, China, Iran, and Zimbabwe have a 96 to 99% immunization rate. So why do these countries have a higher immunization rate? Well, there are 3 key reasons. First, third world countries fear getting the disease far more, driving them to get vaccinated. Americans fear getting the disease far less. Second, the controversies and fear that are associated with shots drives down vaccination rates, resulting in 1 in 10 parents choosing not to immunize their children. Third, doctors in other countries recommend that children get vaccinated at 9 months of age, of course, increasing the vaccination rates. From Hawaii to Maine, diseases once thought to be eradicated are reappearing. Mumps was up nearly 30% in 2017. Upstate New York is fighting a measles and mumps outbreak, while Los Angeles is fighting its own, as well as university campuses across the country. Although European countries have higher immunization rates than the United States, these rates are also dropping. In 2017, Romania, Germany, Italy, and France all had high numbers of measles cases, some fatal. Nearly 90% of those who contracted the disease were unvaccinated. Across Europe, diseases once thought to be eradicated, such as whooping cough, MMR, and hepatitis B, are all growing. Eradicated back in the 1970s, Canadian physicians are once again treating measles. So, how does disease spread? Back in the 20th century, plague-infected rats were transported on Chinese sailboats, starting outbreaks from Sydney to Bombay, San Francisco to Rio de Janeiro. In 1817, cholera, which started in India, was brought by British troops into Indonesia, China, and Japan. Bacteria is moving farther and faster than ever before. Historically, diseases only spread within a community. But today, they can move as fast and far as airplanes can fly. Today, you can be in India or China. Tomorrow, you can be on Main Street, USA, and potentially bring a disease halfway around the world with you in literally just 1 day. Bacteria is literally hitching a ride, moving in greater numbers. Because of this, pandemics and illnesses such as mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas are growing, becoming more and more resistant to antibiotics. Bacteria itself is actually changing. Water, organisms, and insects are being stowed away in ships, luggages, and even the lungs of jet-setting business travelers. There's no limit to how far bacteria can travel, including space. So now the question poses, what does politics have to do with vaccinations? Well, actually, a lot. According to a 2015 Pew Research study, Americans' overall belief in government is directly related to their belief on vaccination safety. 83% of Americans believe vaccinations are safe, 9% unsafe, with the remainder unsure. People on both ends of the political spectrum, the most conservative and the most liberal, overall believe that vaccinations are unsafe. Conservatives think that it should be up to the parents to decide, while liberals think that it should be government mandated. For over 100 years, the fear over shots has played out in US courtrooms. In 1902, the Massachusetts Board of Health mandated smallpox shots. After losing his appeal in the state court, Cambridge resident Henning Jacobson appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And in 1905, the court agreed, mandating shots. This was the first of many U.S. Supreme Court cases that concerned state power in public health law. Since 1998, the Federal Vaccine Court has received over 16,000 petitions, in which 2/3 were dismissed. One, where a young boy died the same day he was vaccinated due to a completely unrelated reason. Or in 2010, when the court declined 5,000 autism claims. While she makes her living winning vaccine injury cases, vaccine lawyer Leah Durant has stated, "Vaccines keep us healthy. They eradicate disease. Obviously, some represent real risks, but these life-threatening allergic reactions are rare, occurring only 1.3 times per million vaccinations. Yet, some people who are well-educated and live in well-industrialized countries think that shots cause MS, autism, neurological problems, and weaken your immune system. However, shots do the exact opposite. Shots imitate the disease, helping your body create antibodies. So when the actual disease does attack you, your reaction is quicker and stronger. There is no reliable research showing any link between neurological problems and the shot. Shots, in fact, help your immune system fight disease and provide a protective shield for your whole community. 97% of people who are vaccinated are protected. Dr. Catherine Edwards from Vanderbilt University said, "It's a little like the Maytag repairman. We have such a wonderful product, so the diseases are gone, so people don't worry about them." So, stop fearing shots and start fearing the disease itself, because staying vaccinated is much safer than being unvaccinated for you and those around you. Now, before we end, I wrote a song that basically goes over what I have just talked about, so enjoy. Before 1796, shots didn't exist. Took 500,000 people away. But Jenner created the smallpox shot, so nobody has to worry today. So have a shot at life. Protect yourself and everyone. Get your shot for life. Fight disease until there's none. You really think you know, but you don't have a clue. Eradicating these diseases is up to you. Protecting you, saving you, your kingdom, it can't get through. Keep it out, don't let it hurt you. Fight for the young and the old, not afraid to be bold. We pick a side and we can be told. So have a shot at life. Protect yourself and everyone. Get your shot for life. Fight disease until there's none. You really think you know, but you don't have a clue. Eradicating these diseases is up to you. You don't want it, so I could get it. You don't want it, so I could get it. You don't want it, so I could get it. You don't want it, so I could get it. He could get it, she could get it. He could get it, she could get it. He could get it, she could get it. We all could get it. So have a shot at life. Protect yourself and everyone. Get your shot for life. Fight disease until there's none. You really think you know, but you don't have a clue. Eradicating these diseases is up to you.